Uchalila prema vanya chodike vidai Sri Buddha Balaka Juvasa Bhare Dubai. The blood of Godhead swelled in all directions, and thus young men, old men, women, and children were all immersed in that inundation. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. When the contents of the storehouse of love of Godhead is thus distributed, there is a powerful inundation that covers the entire land. In Sri Mayapur, there is sometimes a great flood after the rainy season. This is an indication that from the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, the inundation of love of Godhead should be spread all over the world, for this will help everyone, including old men, young men, women, and children. The Krishna consciousness movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so powerful that it can inundate the entire world and interest all classes of men in the subject of love of God. The characteristics of Krishna are understood to be a storehouse of transcendental love. Although that storehouse of love certainly came with Krishna, when he was present, it was sealed. But when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with his associates of the Panchatattva, they broke the seal and plundered the storehouse to taste transcendental love of Krishna. The more they tasted it, the more their thirst for it grew. Sri Panchatattva themselves danced again and again, and thus made it easier to drink nectarine love of Godhead. They danced, cried, laughed, and chanted like madmen, and in this way they distributed love of Godhead. In distributing love of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates did not consider who was a fit candidate and who was not, nor where such distribution should or should not take place. They made no conditions. Wherever they got the opportunity, the members of the Panchatattva distributed love of Godhead. Although the members of the Panchatattva plundered the storehouse of love of Godhead and ate and distributed its contents, there was no scarcity, for this wonderful storehouse is so complete that as the love is distributed, the supply increases hundreds of times. The flood of love of Godhead swelled in all directions, and thus young men, old men, women, and children were all immersed in that inundation. By the causeless mercy of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and our previous acharyas, we are being given the most precious fortune of coming to this crest jewel of all holy places, Sri Mayapur Dham. In today's purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how at times the river Ganges floods the whole area of Mayapur. And this is a divine statement that the treasure of love of Godhead should be distributed throughout the world and flood everyone's hearts with love for Krishna. This year, throughout the world, there is celebration of the new millennium, the year 2000. And in this first year of the new millennium, there was record floods here in Sri Mayapur. Immense floods, I believe 6, 7, 8 feet high, inundating the whole area. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila, there is a very nice pastime where Lord Chaitanya was standing a little distant from the river Ganga, and Ganga Devi was feeling so eager to worship him, to serve him, by offering her waters to touch his lotus feet. He was looking at Ganga Devi with such intense love and devotion in his heart, and she was reciprocating with his glance, so much so that she overflooded her banks. Her waves were swirling. She made a tumultuous roar, and she flooded Sri Mayapur and came to the place of Lord Chaitanya to wash his lotus feet. While she was washing his feet, in reciprocation of love, he was perspiring in ecstasy, and another Ganges was falling to merge with her. It is explained that her flood was actually the manifestation of her incessant tears of love rushing toward the lotus feet of the Lord. And one Brahmin who is very dear to Ganga Devi was able to understand this very clearly. So the devotees here, they have placed Sri Sri Radha Madhava very, very high up on an altar. Now there is internal and external reasons for everything that happens from a Krishna conscious perspective. From the external reason, we may try to figure out that this flood happened due to some inefficiency of the municipality of the state of Bengal and the way they handle their dam control, or perhaps because of heavy rains. And certainly these considerations have their value. But internally we must understand according to the words of the scriptures. Here His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada very clearly explains exactly why the Ganges floods, to show the world that this nectar of love of Godhead should flood the entire planet from Sri Mayapur Dham, the birthplace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Ganges flooded and completely submerged Lord Narasimhadev, complete Abhishekam for practically 1 week. And the only people who could actually see Lord Narasimhadev at that time were either the fish of the Dham or those who had deep, deep meditation within their hearts. The flood rose to such an extent that it actually washed the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. I believe for about 1 week their feet were being continuously bathed by the holy river Ganga. Now we know that Ganga Devi originates from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. When Vamana Dev, the great Leela avatar, pierced the covering of the universe, Ganga Devi came to bathe his lotus feet. Therefore Ganga is his Charanamrit. But here in Mayapur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is especially coming to distribute the merciful love of Srimati Radharani. Therefore here in Mayapur, Ganga flooded not only to bathe the feet of Madhava, but to personally bathe the lotus feet of his beloved Srimati Radharani. And anyone who touched these waters, but to speak of those fortunate souls who drowned in these waters, the Charanamrit of Sri Sri Radha Madhava, they were blessed. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the combined incarnation of Radha and Krishna. So he is distributing throughout the world Charanamrit of the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. In this way, Srila Prabhupada has given us a proper insight into these floods. And we are so fortunate that just after this inundating flood, we have all come here to take inspiration from our acharyas, from the Panchatattva, and from the Holy Dham. That inspiration should be to taste the nectar of Krishna, of pure bhakti, and to assist our beloved Srila Prabhupada in inundating the whole world with the flood of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is a very auspicious way to inaugurate the new millennium. And we're so amazed at how the residents of Sri Mayapur Dham have worked so hard to restore the damages of the flood, that to most of us it appears like nothing happened at all. Service to the Holy Dham is very intimate and very sacred, because the Dham is not different than the expansion of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai themselves. Through this flood, devotees from all over the world contributed money and other types of energy to serve the Holy Dham. This is a very special consideration. Very rarely devotees in such an urgent spirit of devotion collecting, and sending donations to serve the Dham in a very intimate way. Just like, you know, when Yashoda Mai or when Sachi Mata would see Krishna or Nimai in a dangerous condition, in their spontaneous affection, they wanted to protect them. So similarly, it appeared that the Dham was in great difficulty. Then Prabhupada's project in this holy Dham was suffering. So devotees, in a very protective, spontaneous mood all over the world, what to speak of the devotees here, came to protect the transcendental abode of the Supreme Personality of God. So this flood was not only a symbol of what must be done, but it was also a facility to give special devotional service to the Dham, to our devotees.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.